Check it out. Let me tell you one.
Freedom for all.
What is up, my MMA brothers and sisters? Welcome to another episode. This is episode 9 of Let's Talk MMA. I actually have a special guest. His name is Steve, MMAGamesNFighting on Instagram. You'll see all of his stuff right here on the video, and I'll also put his link down in the description there. But we've been talking back and forth. He does so many great clips and photos on his Instagram. I reached out to him. He's been super cool and very supportive of this show, and we've been planning on doing UFC 207 so we can talk about it. So I'm really excited to get his input on fights in general and these fights coming up. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But before I give him a call, just a quick shout out to all the people that I met at UFC Sacramento. I was there live. This is my event shirt. It was just a lot of fun. I wanted to soak it in. I made those videos of entrances and stuff like that if you want to check those out on the YouTube channel here. But other than that, I wanted to keep it real simple, have a good time, and just kind of soak it in. And that's what I did. So a lot of fun. UFC 207, the next big event that's coming up. Of course, Rousey and Nunes. So let's jump right into it. Let's give Steve a call. There he is.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Steve? How you doing, brother?
Here we go.
You looking good? Yeah. Looking good. The magic of Skype, right?
That's it.
Well, I gave you
golden child.
Yeah, I gave you. No, the light is perfect. We get to see you perfectly and make sure we know what you look like. It's all good. It's all good. So I gave you a quick little introduction now, of your Instagram page. Obviously, you got a lot of followers. Hopefully, the people watching kind of know your page, but maybe don't know you. So let's first off get a nice intro from you. How'd you get into MMA? Why'd you start your Instagram page? And yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so the funny thing, so started the page. This is the best part of the story. I was actually going to put a facts thing, a post about facts, MMA games and fighting facts, but I never got around to doing it.
Okay.
So, MMA games and fighting, it has games inside the name. Big gamer, I like to play Xbox, PlayStation, a lot in combat sports games. So, I made MMA games and fighting when Instagram came out with video, when they had the 15-second highlights, because I was heavy into playing the UFC games. So I was going to use that to just upload my instant replays. So I had uploaded, when EA was coming out with their game, I started uploading the early pictures of Nate Diaz and Roy Nelson and all that. So, I made MMA games and fighting because I'm a gamer who likes MMA, and what started happening, I started to get a little following of people who were into gaming too, so started posting some highlights and stuff like that, and then next thing you know, fighters started following me, and it just turned into something else, something that it totally wasn't, really planned on being ever, really. So
yeah, because now you have many clips, and I didn't know that at all. I had no idea. I mean, when I first saw it, I didn't really think twice. I just kind of saw you had all the clips and like up to date too, like as they were happening. So for me, it was an easy follow. I was like, this guy's on it. Like he's just on it. So I saw mostly clips, so I didn't really know that was part of the story, but that's kind of your main focus now, right? Keeping up with clips, but also awesome clips from the past.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing too. I mean, I'm 32 years old. I was born in good old 1984, the generation of the Ninja Turtles, when the Ninja Turtles were running New York, running the sewers. Yeah. That's my generation.
Hey, I'm 85, by the way, 85 here, so I feel you.
See, so we come from that same era. So
yeah,
I see that a lot of people that follow me are guys, women, from that era too, that recognize guys like Ken Shamrock or the the legends, the Chuck Liddells, just guys that we saw coming up, in the sport.
Absolutely.
So I don't see any other MMA pages really glorifying the old school, what I mean? So I kind of like to bring that back and kind of, let the newer generation that are kind of a lot more casual fans, let them, see how it all started. See the guys that kind of pioneered and paved, that path for what we see now on Fox and all the pay-per-views, stuff like that. Let them see where it all originated from.
I can appreciate that, and it's interesting because it makes a bunch of sense if based on what I've seen. But you telling me that is like, oh, I had no idea that was your intention. And I think that's cool because we chatted a little bit before, this phone call here. And I mentioned to you the whole Evan Tanner thing. And it just kind of threw me off. I was like, wait a minute, this is nothing recent. But I love Evan Tanner from back in the day. So it just took me back really quick. And then I started paying a little more attention to your post. And I'm like, wait a second. He does recent stuff and old school stuff. So for me...
Yeah.
I feel that because I was 8, you were probably 9 when UFC 1 came out, which is old enough to kind of know what's on TV, what the heck are these adults watching, and I've been into it ever since. And now to see the sport, like you said, on Fox and what it is today is like, it's just mind blowing to see it in the infant stages to now, right?
Yeah, it's amazing, dude. It's amazing from where it came from the VHS tapes, from them being
to the DVDs.
Banned from the sport. Yeah, I mean, it was banned. I mean, MMA, it came out of like a giant hole. You know what I mean? It was, it wasn't something that was just very commercialized. Like, if you liked it back then, people looked at you like there was something wrong with you. Like, like what this guy likes that kind of stuff. Two guys, like my grandfather, before he passed away, he would always tell me, he's like, what is this? He's like, this isn't fighting. He's like, would tell me there's two guys in a cage like animals, because he came from the boxing era with two guys standing up,
Yep.
But it's different. It's a new sport, and it came a long way to make it to where it is today.
And I think you'll appreciate this as far as like how you said with bringing up like the old clips of the pioneers and stuff like that. Since I have Fight Pass and I've been going from UFC 1 and up and just kind of revisiting it all, it's interesting. Even back then, all these people would say, you know what, we're athletes. We need to learn different styles. Like, I'm a wrestler. I need to practice my boxing. So it's always from the beginning, it's always been a martial art. Even the fighters, you'd have your Tank Abbott here and there where I just want to fight, and you'll get them no problem. But the appreciation for different martial arts and learning them in order to be successful in the octagon has been talked about forever. But it's only like finally now there's a bulk of people that understand. Oh, this is different martial arts mixed together. Like, yes, that's what it's been this whole time. But it's finally getting the appreciation that it deserves.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I always say, I mean, there's not enough media people covering the sport. I mean, you have your handful of people that are covering it. You have your mainstream people, and then you have underground people. I mean, the sport, it's still so new that anybody can get into this game. I mean, it's just open because you could just make your own game. You can make your own angle of how you want to be a part of the MMA community. I mean, it's so new, There's something to be talked about on every aspect of it, whether it's what you're doing, or whether it's working on TV, whether it's just, doing anything, MMA, it's big. It's here to stay.
It's giving us all the, we would have never thought, whether it was Instagram for it to even be as popular as it was because the sports are doing so well, or for me to even go out and do this show, it's because the sport is just doing so well. So it kind of, it's opening doors for everybody, and I feel like I'm just old school, and that's why I enjoy doing this the most, because I just feel like, man, I've been doing it from the beginning. But I love talking to new people, whether they know something I don't, or they want to know something about back then. It's all good. I just love talking MMA, so I guess that's how the name originated. And with that said, let's talk some MMA.
Let's do it.
UFC 207, December 30th. On a Friday, of course, because Ronda Rousey is on it. This is why it's happening. Now, we're going to save that fight for the end, but let's just talk about the event in general. What do you think about this? I think it's just going to do well. It's on a Friday, December 30th, right at the end of the year, but Rousey's at the top. I mean, I think no matter what, it's going to be successful. What do you think?
It's gonna be huge. Yeah, it's gonna sell a lot. I mean, Ronda Rousey's coming back. She hasn't fought. I mean, what is it? A year or two? I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a long time.
It's been at least a year, a little over a year, I think.
About a year and a half, something like that. It's been a long time. I mean, she got knocked out. It's gonna be huge. Any way you slice it, I mean, she made a huge impact. She made a big name. You know, all the casual people that just have heard her name one time are gonna buy the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I mean, when you have people who know nothing about MMA and they come up to you, somebody who's a diehard, and they say, "Hey, you know, did you hear Ronda Rousey's fighting this, you know, on December?" That's when you know it's gonna sell a lot of pay-per-views. You know what I mean? It's gonna be something big.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I think it's really cool too. It's like, I mean, they've done so many events this year. It's been ridiculous. But hey, it's like ending it with a bang. You know, that's a pretty good event that they were able to do. I thought New York was going to be the biggest one, and I think around that time is when this one was announced, and I was like, oh, okay, they got a big one as well right at the end of the year. So let's just jump right into it. I've done this with other people. I'm gonna do it with you, and on each fight, first it's TJ Dillashaw versus John Lineker. Let me get your input in two different ways. One, who you're going for, if you have any kind of preference for whatever reason, and who do you think is going to win? So that's just from an outside perspective, when you see these two fighters going at it, who you think is actually going to go for that win. So TJ Dillashaw and John Lineker.
I'm gonna have to go with TJ Dillashaw, who I think is gonna win, and I mean, I don't really have a particular preference. I don't really have any, no real ties to any either. But I think the angles with TJ, I think the style compared to Lineker's kind of just come straight at you like a tank brawler style. I think. Yeah. You know, Dwayne Ludwig is he's a beast when it comes to really, you know, teaching that skill set. And the way TJ absorbs it, I mean, he's just like, you watch any of their training videos, the way he's in there dancing around. Yeah. I mean, if you put a guy like TJ inside there, I don't think he's even going to get touched, to be honest with you. With a guy as heavy-footed as Lineker, I don't think Lineker is going to be landing too much. I think he's going to be just smelling the air mostly, and Dillashaw is going to be landing a lot of shots on angles, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people when they talk about footwork, and obviously because it's really good but also different, they talk about Dominick Cruz, and we'll talk about him later. But TJ Dillashaw, on the other hand, and that's why that fight, I would love to see a rematch, because that was just like, I had to slow it down to even enjoy it more, because it was just magic on both sides. Not only was he touching Dominick Cruz, he was, man, I don't want to say it's better footwork, because it's just different footwork, but it is amazing. TJ Dillashaw on his feet is something special.
Yeah, it's definitely something to watch, and it's something that you can't really duplicate. It's something that I think a movement like that, I mean, if that's in you, if you have that movement, if your body is able to, I don't think you could teach this type of a thing, like the moving coaches with McGregor and all that. I don't think you could just pull any guy and be like, hey, you're gonna move gracefully because I'm, this, big guy that could teach you all these different things. I think you got to have that in you as a person. Yeah, it goes a little deeper than physical. Maybe it's a little mental too, where you get into this and your body moves a certain way, whatever it is. But TJ's got it, and I don't see Lineker going in there and swinging and landing anything, to tell you the truth. I mean,
well, let me throw this curveball at you. So within this fight, because I agree with what you're saying, but on the same token, John Lineker, with the pressure that he has, the power that he has in his hands, and the shot that he's able to take, like it's like almost like he's accepted the fact, like, go ahead and hit me, I'm gonna swallow it, I just need to get close to you. And so I'm thinking of his last fight, which was against Dotson, where Dotson obviously was dancing around. Do you think TJ would dance around as much? I don't think so, and yet that might be what allows John Lineker to touch him.
So now that's a good point. On that point, what I don't think TJ I mean, I've seen him have the capabilities to take that power and with his foot and take out guys like Soto and take out guys like, oh my God, why can't I think of his name? The champion, the former champion that he dethroned.
Renan Barão.
Renan Barão.
Yeah.
When he knocked out Barão, I don't think that he's gonna pull that gas out or that power. I don't think it's enough to put down a guy like Lineker. I mean, when I look at Lineker, I see like a small Brazilian Jake LaMotta. Yeah. You know what I mean? I see a guy that's just like you could just take a shovel and smash his face, and he's just gonna keep coming at you and coming at you. I mean, you gotta have to be in a upper weight class, I think, to take a guy out like Lineker in that division.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's gonna have to do the dancing thing. I think he's gonna have to do, the footwork. I think he's gonna have to just take the points.
Right. TJ's gonna, and it's 3 rounds. So I think this is where we'll talk about it with Dominick, Cruz, and Cody. When you got 5 rounds to have to dance, that's a harder game to play. You'd probably have to implement a little more ground and scrambles if you want to try to stay off your feet. But it's 3 rounds. He can dance. He has good footwork. He already saw Dotson do it, and I think he's equally as fast. So, all right, my turn. It's like I really like Lineker just because of that brute. Like, I love seeing him fight. I love. Like, not that I like people getting hit to hit, but it's just fun. It's entertaining.
Come on, you like it.
I love it. And it's like I could, when I see it happening, I almost see Lineker, doing what he does and getting TJ to fight him, and that might be a mistake. So I think if TJ plays it smart all 3 rounds, picks his shots, and takes let's call it the safer route. Yeah, for sure. TJ, I can see him do it. But I think that's why this fight is so exciting, because I want to see Lineker. He's going to chase him. He's going to try to block him off. And, man, if he gets a couple shots in, it could get real interesting real quick. So, man, I'm just excited for that one. That one...
It's going to be a good fight.
Is an interesting one. That's number 1 and number 2 bantamweight fight. Number 1 and number 2. So I would assume the winner will fight the new champion.
Yeah, I mean, it's only fair. I mean, otherwise, that MMA association might have a thing or two to say about
man,
if TJ wins that fight.
yeah. I mean, that was the whole thing, right? TJ should have got the Cody fight or Cody's spot, and that didn't happen because the popularity and the crap talking got Cody that seat. So, hey, it is what it is. But that's going to be a good fight. All right, let's jump to the next one, which I'm super excited about. Like I said, I grew up born and raised in San Jose. Cain Velasquez and Fabricio Werdum. This is the rematch. As most of us know, the first one was in high altitude. Cain is a beast, and he muscled and pushed through it, but you can tell he slowed down and quick. Yeah. So this one's going to be in Vegas. Nice and normal, and some nice AC. What do you see going down on this one?
Now with this fight, I gotta say, it's tricky on different levels because of the styles. I gotta say, you have Cain. He's a dominant wrestler. He's really nice on the feet. He's disgustingly good when he clinches with you and gets you in that cage work when he backs you up. I mean,
Dos Santos.
And then you have, Werdum is a nasty Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt that, I mean, if you clinch with him and he grabs you, if he pulls guard, if he does any of these things, if he wraps his legs around you, your waist, your ankles, if he grabs your wrist, you're in danger of anything because he's got so many weapons.
Yeah. With
this fight, I mean, with Cain, we'll say the high altitude, played a big part in it. I want to say Cain has a way bigger shot in getting a victory in this rematch, but I still want to edge out even though Werdum got knocked out by Stipe Miocic, I think I still want to give Werdum the edge on this match with Cain, I think. Only because of the style. You know, I don't see... Cain is not long. He's not rangy, so he's not going to have that distance that Stipe was able to keep with, you know, with Werdum. Right. And if they grapple, you know, Werdum is slick, man.
He's very slick.
I don't know.
He's very slick. I mean, even the guillotine that he got on Cain, I mean, he got caught. He was, whether you were tired or not, guess what? He got you in the position, and you lost. Could you have been more strong and had more air? Could you have muscled your way out of it? Maybe. But he got caught. I mean, the facts are facts. What I got to go for Cain just cuz, but just looking at the fight, I agree. Everything on the ground, and the thing that kind of comes to mind a lot is Fabricio's, you know, when he gets on his back and he's like, come on.
Yeah.
Because he just knows, and that has to be so That's intimidating. Even if Cain is his jiu-jitsu is good and he feels comfortable there, I mean, Werdum is even more comfortable.
Exactly.
So this is another good fight. I mean, sometimes I feel like I can pick one fairly easily, but this is another fight back-to-back that anything can happen. I know Werdum wants that belt again, but he's getting older. And I don't know. His body type is also, it's hard to read. It's not like sometimes you could look at a fighter and be like, oh, he's in shape. And sometimes you're like, he's not in shape. Like Werdum just has a body style that you just don't know if he's in shape or not. So with the whole Stipe one, I think his mindset was off, and that's what lost it for him. So if he comes in here, though, all aggressive, trying to make a statement, I think that's where Cain's going to get him. I don't think that would be smart on I don't think Cain's style would bring that out of Werdum, though. Well, Werdum, and it's almost like this is the
Cain's style.
I was gonna say the mentality event. I'm talking about Rousey, but Cain, I think, will come in level-headed. Fabricio, I feel like he wanted a title shot. He needs to go through Cain again, trying to make a statement. Maybe he might come in aggressive.
Yeah, I don't think that would be smart, though. I mean, if he just goes in and feels it out naturally, the way he fights naturally and does what he does, and just depends on his jiu-jitsu, because, I mean, that's what you're going to beat Cain with. You're going to beat him with jiu-jitsu. You're not going to knock Cain out. You're not going to catch him with a flying knee like you did to Roy Nelson. You're not going to do it.
Right.
Cain he's very fast. He's very reactive. He's very aware of he has a high combat IQ. You know what I mean? You're not going to just come out of nowhere and flash knock him out. I mean, unless you're JDS and you guys are in a boxing thing. But I don't think Werdum has that power to knock out Cain like that. So he's going to have to fall back on the grappling.
Yeah, he's got some good stand-up, and obviously he is rangy. I mean, the first one was a fun fight. It was a very interesting matchup. It just sucked that you can tell Cain slowed down so quick, and he was pushing. He was still pushing like normal. That's where I was like, man, he's got some heart, but you can just see the fatigue in him. So with this one around, man, it's gonna be fun. Well, I'm gonna go with Cain, and since you're doing Dillashaw, I'm gonna do Lineker. This is just to keep it interesting. And let's go on to the next one. Yeah, there it is. So Dominick Cruz and Cody Garbrandt. Cody doing the shit talking, doing extra, and in these days, that's what you do, because if everyone's talking about it, then UFC is going to give you the fight because they figure they're going to make the most money of what people are talking about. So he got it. The question is he even good enough to beat Dominick Cruz, who we know is one of the best fighters ever. And then I just kind of go back to Cody's last fights. Thomas Almeida, I think that was probably one of his most impressive wins. He fought Augusto Mendez, Henry Brion. So, Thomas Almeida, I think, is the best example. And the fact of the matter is, he's got a really strong right hand. I really like his boxing. I like his footwork. But the question is is that going to be enough for Dominick Cruz? What do you think?
It's it's definitely going to be enough for Dominick Cruz.
We're going on the Cody
Garbrandt. He's going to get it done. I'm telling you, it's going to be an new. You're going to have a new champion in that division.
Speaking boldly, my friend.
It's going to happen. Nobody's going to expect it, but I'm telling you, he's going to cut the ring off. You know, Dominick's gonna touch him a couple of times, but I think it's gonna be fast. I don't think it's gonna be a 5-round fight. Dominick is gonna try to extend it to that, but I think Cody has too much aggression. And with the emotions building up with this fight, I think it's just bleeding through him. And I don't think for Cody that this is a bad thing. I think he swallows that shit. Yeah. And I think he's going to use it like a train, and he's just going to power right through. I think he's going to cut the corner. Dominick is going to go into whichever hand is coming out, and I think he's going to catch him. I think you're going to see a new champion. I think Cody's going to actually he's going to surprise a lot of people.
I love the confidence in this answer too. I wasn't expecting it.
I feel really confident. I feel like I knew is definitely it's going to happen, man. I knew.
And when I think of this fight going down, I think about Dominick Cruz, and yes, he has great footwork. He might knock somebody on their butt, but usually it's an off-balance kind of deal. So I don't really see a knockout on his side. And with that footwork, that is all well and great, but 25 minutes worth, you're gonna get touched. And I think Cody, the way these are the things why I'm gonna agree, and I'm gonna stick with Cody as my pick as well. The aggression, I feel exactly the same, and he said it over and over. That's the way he fights, but it's a controlled aggression. He knows to be patient. I've seen that already. You can see that he's been in there. He's comfortable. Like, this is the right time for him. And even for him to say, like, since he was a teenager, he's looked up to Dominick Cruz as that's the guy that I need to beat, and envisioning knocking him out. Even him saying, like, round one, depending if he comes in aggressive, he's gonna get it. Round one done. If he dances around, I'll see what he does. But by the second round, I'll catch him. And I do see it. I do see exactly that. And I think Dominick Cruz also is a little worried on this one, which is never good.
I would be too, man. I mean, you can't mess around with power like that. I mean, you can't deny it either. Thomas Almeida won 20 straight fights.
That's his fight to win.
If that was, 20 straight wins on that streak. Regardless if that was 20 bums, 20. I mean, that's 20 people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you dusted 20 different people. I mean, that's impressive. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you did it, you still did it. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of fights, you know? So, I mean, I don't know. I think Cody's hungry. He's younger. You know, Dominick's a great fighter. He's the man. You know what I mean? Dominick is definitely, you can't, his athletic ability, the stuff this guy is able to do. I mean, these guys are swinging on him, and he's over there. They're swinging here, he's over there. You know what I mean? The guy's amazing. You can't take nothing away from him.
Nobody's like him.
UFC, I mean, come 207, I think it's going to end, man. I think Team Alpha Male is going to bring home a new shiny gold belt. I think that's going to be it. I think Uriah Faber is going to have his champion back in his gym. And then I'm pretty sure TJ Dillashaw and Cody will be shooting the fair one next.
I get that. And well, let's give a little credit and input on Dominick Cruz. I mean, and you can please tell me what you think as well. As far as Dominick Cruz winning, definitely the dancing, definitely moving around. He can't be too aggressive, and if he's smart, which who knows, maybe this is actually what he's going to do. He's got to take him down. Yeah. And at the very least, round 1, round 2, get him into round 3 where the power is going to be less of an issue. And that's the thing. That's the part where Dominick Cruz is that smart. He is a winner in that octagon. Doesn't mean he's going to finish you, but he knows that if he gets to the end of the line, he won more rounds than you, and he's going to make sure that he gets the rounds. And that's what's funny. Cody even mentioned that, and he's like, yeah, he's a he knows how to win rounds. And I'm gonna go in there to beat him up, and this and that. So it's an interesting dynamic. That's why I like Cody to win. That's why I like the chances of him winning. But Dominick Cruz has a way to win, of course, because he's smart. His wrestling is good. But I've seen Cody scramble in practice, and he's no slump on the ground either, man. And he's a wrestler originally
he's explosive. Too, right? Yeah. He's explosive, man. Cody's very explosive. He trains with all wrestlers. That whole gym. I mean, Danny Castillo is the new head coach over there with the other guy. I forget his name. The guy that won the Ultimate Fighter.
You're talking about
the kid.
I forget his name. It's all right, but
Chris. It's like Chris something.
Well, they have they also have a new gym, dude, like a 20 square foot gym. That he's opening up. So, I mean. Oh yeah,
the new one. Yeah.
And whenever something like that happens, it reminds me of American Top Team. Jackson Wink getting the bigger, and then that's just going to allow so many more people to get in, so many more sparring partners, so many more looks.
Sure.
Sky's the limit for them. So, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. All right, the main event. Amanda Nunes, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey coming back after a year and some months. Amanda Nunes, scary on the feet. She even said, I don't know what belt she's at, but originally she did do judo, actually, which was always something I kept in my mind because I figured if Amanda ever fights and goes against Ronda, she's going to have a semi-idea of the different type of things that Ronda does, especially with the throws that she kind of depends on. I mean, Ronda depends on throws more than a standard takedown, or not depends, but that's just her style. But anyways, I'm gonna put you on the spot because I really don't. I have an idea of my answer, but I'm gonna throw it at you first. What do you think is gonna go down between these two girls?
So UFC 207, Rousey versus Nunes. Yeah. You're gonna hear Bruce Buffer grab the microphone. You'll see Dana White with the biggest smile on his face that he's ever had, probably since Conor McGregor won the lightweight championship belt. And they're gonna be screaming and new world champion, women's bantamweight champion, Ronda Rousey. It's gonna happen, and the way it's gonna happen, I'm telling you, there's really not a lot of ways for Nunes to win this fight. Honestly, I mean, if we're gonna really sit back and look at the two fighters and look at their skill sets and what they have, and I mean. I look at this like I would look at a game, like the UFC game, when you know what each player has, what they're capable of doing, their output, their how attributes. Long they can go until, their attributes. How long can you go until that stamina bar is going to dwindle down to halfway, and then the other person, turns the jets on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm predicting is going to happen. They're going to come out. First round, Nunes is a first-round fighter. She's a finisher. She's got that animalistic, that craziness where she's just going to come out guns blazing, left fist, right fist. She's going to try to knock you out in the first exchange.
Right.
Rousey, what does Rousey do? Rousey's going to what? She's going to clinch you. She's going to grab you. She's going to use all that aggression, and she's going to flip you. Now, I saw Alexis Davis work Amanda Nunes on the floor. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the grappling. I mean, work. Now, what did Rousey do to Alexis Davis? I mean, I don't see Amanda Nunes out grappling. There's a certain, when you talked about being comfortable and being on different levels of being comfortable, when you talked about Werdum, Rousey is not on another level. Rousey with the grappling is just on a totally different planet. Now, when you're going against someone stylistically like Nunes, who's going to come in reckless probably and just be throwing to catch your chin, if she catches one limb from you and drops you and clinches up with you and throws you, I don't see Nunes getting out of that. If there's an exchange, I don't see Nunes getting out of the first round. I don't think it's going to make it to the second round. I think you're going to see a really fast submission by Ronda Rousey. Wow. And then you're going to see That's it. You're gonna see her win the belt. You're not gonna see her beat Holly Holm if that fight ever happens, because that's not gonna go down. Holly Holm is Ronda Rousey's poison. Stylistically, you're not gonna see it. But I'm gonna take Rousey for that win. Rousey's taking that win home. She might even take Nunes' arm home with her. I don't know.
Wow.
She might take that arm.
Steve, you got nothing but bold statements today. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go into everything very confident. Otherwise, I don't put nothing on the table unless I feel it's 100%.
I appreciate that. Well, let me try to play the other side here a little bit then. So,
go ahead. I'm all ears.
What I kind of see with Nunes, and I completely agree. Ronda coming back, a lot of people are talking about her mental, her mindset, what's going to happen when she first gets hit. And sure, I think that's something to consider, but fierce Ronda Rousey with a fraction of the interviews and activities that she needed to do like she did for the Holly Holm fight, just focusing on fighting and her skills and going in there and just focused is a dangerous Ronda Rousey. So everything that you just said, I do agree with because of that. Now, with that said though, she's lost, and there is a little bit, not a full-on, but a little bit of a blueprint to beat her, and that's keep your distance, which is easier said than done. Clip her good, which Amanda Nunes can do, just like Holly did. And one thing that with the Holly fight, that when I watched that was the oh my god moment, was when Rousey did have Holly in her grasp, and Holly muscling her way out of it.
Yeah, that was amazing.
If that happens once, maybe twice, and Amanda just needs to stay off the ground completely. Just don't even go there. Like if you end up there, get out. Get out, get away, and restart back on the feet. So it's like I think that's the only way to beat Ronda. And when you have so little ways to win, of course, Rousey has more chances, more abilities, but I see Nunes possibly doing it. She's freaking pretty brutal, man. She's brutal. She just needs to not get caught. But that's easier said than done. So that's what makes this one really interesting too. But dude, she's a freaking killer.
She is a killer. I mean, I'll give her props. There's definitely an opportunity, a window of opportunity for her to win. Not saying that. If she touches Ronda, and you got to give Ronda credit too. Ronda's tough, man.
Yeah,
you watched that Holly Holm fight. Ronda took some shots to the face. I mean, before that head kick came, if you watch those combos and those jabs that that elbow to the face that she was taking from Holly Holm, I mean, she could take it. I mean, that kick, that was the final straw on that one. But who knows what she could take, when Nunes comes, and how long Nunes' gas tank is going to last, if they do take it into the extra rounds. This could be a factor too.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see.
I mean, this whole event, like usually when I do these shows, like I kind of have, I see this happening. All of these fights, I have no clue. Like I can see it going both ways, and it just kind of depends on how they do, right? That's why you just gotta wait and see. But yeah, I mean UFC 207, it's gonna happen. What's not this next Friday? That's coming.
What are we in right now?
Yeah, because this weekend is Christmas. So yep. So next Friday, it's already gonna be here. And
22nd. It's the 22nd.
That's going to be a big bang. So I'll be obviously on your Instagram looking at all the different things that you do. But you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to go with Nunes just because I feel she does have a chance to win, and that'll keep it more interesting for the main event for you and I. And I don't know. I'm still going to go with Cody, so we'll just agree on that one.
All right.
But Steve, I have to give you a big thank you for I know we've been going back and forth on trying, we did say UFC 207, so
at least we nailed it. I'm happy I was able to find the time, man. It's hard nowadays, but I'm definitely happy. I appreciate, you having me on here, definitely.
Thank you. Like I said, for me it's really appreciate it because I know for me, I kind of work from home, so I'm able to kind of, play with my schedule quite a bit. For you, I know you're busy with all your things. You have children just like I, and that's why I really just appreciate it. I'm going to tell you in front of the world, I appreciate you coming on and at least spending this time, because it's not even just this, 30, 40 minutes that we had. It's the back and forth. Yeah. It's scheduling it. It's the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
It's easier than what people see, or harder than what people see, and I really appreciate it, and I hope we can do it again.
Oh, definitely, man. We'll definitely have to get a couple of these done, man. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a monthly or weekly thing. We get something going.
That would be awesome. I would love it. I mean, that's why I kind of looked out for people that have these like big pages, because I know that your MMA knowledge was going to be good and your input was going to be good. I like your confidence in your picks too, because you know what you're talking about. You know what you've seen, and that's how you got to judge what's going to be seen. I'm kind of I kind of in that fan. Like sometimes I'm like, what if Nunes does this? And I think I build it up for myself internally. But I like the straightforwardness too, because facts are facts.
That's it, man. You got to be blunt.
Yes. All right, my man. Well, thanks again. I'll see you real soon, and until next time, peace, brother.
All right, brother. Appreciate it. Take care, man.
Take care, brother. Awesome. Well, that was Steve with MMA Games and Fighting. Learned a couple of things that I actually didn't even know about his page and everything, but not surprised at all. He knows his MMA. He has some real strong picks, which I thought was pretty cool. For me, I don't know. I guess I like playing the goofy game of, oh my God, what's gonna happen? But the fact of the matter is, there are some things that cannot be avoided, and like with Rousey, she is very good. I mean, a lot of people are holding on to that last fight with Holly, but you have to keep in mind the win streak is tough to keep, and your confidence level does keep going up. And I think that would have been one thing that hindered her. All the interviews, movies, and just the stardom, I'm sure that hindered her. So that wasn't a full-on Ronda Rousey, in my opinion anyway. Is that the way to beat her? For sure. Could she get beat that way again? Of course. But a focused Ronda Rousey is a dangerous one. And 5 rounds worth, she's tough. She can take shots. So it's going to just be an interesting fight. All these fights, if you notice, I was just kind of like, I didn't put too much time into it. Sometimes I just like to talk about it when I do one of these to just kind of see what's in my mind and see what I think or feel. But they're going to be great fights. It's the last event of the year. It's going to be awesome. So I'm glad I was able to hook up with Steve. Maybe we'll do a post show just to kind of talk about it after. But leave your comments down below. Anything that you'd like to see or talk about, or if you're a big fan, want to be on the show, you are more than welcome. Just hit me up and we'll definitely do it. So until next time, peace.